Welcome to the Alliance series of webinars giving you a crash course in the main road safety risk areas. The Global Alliance of NGOs for Road Safety is committed to reaching the UN Sustainable Development Goal of target of halving the number of road deaths by 2020. There's therefore an urgent need to focus on evidence-based strategies to reduce deaths. We have therefore created a number of webinars on key risk areas and who is better positioned to share best practices and main messages within the proven risk areas than the Alliance members. This webinar will give you a crash course in main messages within the areas. This webinar will give you a crash course in seatbelts' role in preventing death and injuries. We have turned to our member in Georgia, the Partnership Foundation for Road Safety, who will give you an overview of basic facts and key messages on seatbelt and seatbelt use. Should you wish to learn more, we have collected a number of resources that you're also encouraged to explore further. You can find them on our website, which is shown here. This is also where you pose your question or evaluate the webinar. With us today we have Lika Mirashvili from the Foundation Partnership for Road Safety in Georgia. Lika, welcome to you.
Yes, so during my presentation I will talk about our organization's mission, why it is important to wear seatbelt. Also I will identify stereotypes that was in Georgia. We should know the context and statistical data about what we are going to do. Also, I will talk about how to build coalition and also how to reach and engage citizens, how to educate them and increase their awareness. I will talk about the holistic approach and also how to find valuable partner for our projects. So what we do generally, our organization, is to promote safe roads and clean transport for all road users more than a decade, and also to advocate for safe and sustainable mobility in the cities and in the regions of Georgia. We work on education campaigns, also we work with decision makers. We meet every day with local and regional government representatives. We have very good network with media and try to involve them every day, and step by step media and journalists starting to be more active, and they are more interested in road safety issues. In Georgia, generally, we have a 3.7 million population, and we have a road fatality per 1 million people. It's 162. As we know, in European countries, average death level is 52 people per 1 million. Last year, in 2015, we had more than 6,000 road accidents, and we had 602 people died on the Georgia, and 9,187 people had serious trauma. Every day we have 25 people injured, and among these people 3 are children and 5 are pedestrian adults. And half of these people are between 15 to 14 years old, and those people are very active, and they are very important for the country, not only for their family but for the country, because they are the people who are the most active, and they have to add something and to work for not all the families but for the country. So the deaths of those people also have very bad influence of the country's economy too. So when we start our project, we try to mobilize all resources, not only the private and media. Also, we work with government representatives very actively, And we try to inform society and about the importance of our project in general is road safety and also clean transport, and to promote safe mobility culture, and share also we want to share the best practice, and we try to involve our country in the global movement and try to follow all the global actions. Now, why it is important to wear seatbelt? So during the crashes, wearing seatbelts decreases the risk of death with about 60%. We know it's about World Health Organization's report. How it helps? When crash happens and we have and the airbag opens, it damages our body, so we need something to be tied, and seatbelt helps us to be protected from airbag, so it protects also from falling out of the car after the crash, and also seatbelts makes equal distribution of crash energy, and it helps passenger to be survived and to be safe. In Georgia, when we started campaign, we had so we had some stereotypes. Many drivers, also taxi drivers, say that we don't want to use a seat belt for a short distance. Sometimes we're going only to the market to buy some food. Also, experienced drivers said that we also don't need seatbelt because we can control our situation better than seatbelt. Also, they say that it's dangerous to be tied in the car during the car crash because sometimes we need to get out of the car and seatbelts ties us. Also, we don't need seatbelt for a low speed. And also there was some stereotype that in the rear seat passenger is safe without seatbelt also, and airbag can save and protect me. To reply all these stereotypes, we try to show them videos that is available on YouTube. Just Google or search on the YouTube and you will find a lot of videos how seatbelt helps passenger with seatbelt. In most countries, 111 countries also have seatbelt laws that is using mandatory of seatbelt. The green on the map, green color is the countries that have also seatbelts adopted seatbelts for all occupants. Black is only subnational level, and red one is there is no seatbelts for the passengers in the car. As we see in most countries, in Europe, in Asia, also in America, they have seatbelt mandatory seatbelt use law. As I already said, seatbelt reduces the risk of death among front seat passengers with 40, 60, 65%, and for the rear seat occupants by 25%. Also, I want to say a little about the child restraints. Also, we did not have in Georgia mandatory use of child restraints in the front seat, but 2 years ago the law was adopted, and how it helps. So seatbelt is for adults, and for the it doesn't matter only age, but it is about the body. So big person who is more than 16 years old, 18 years old can seatbelt can tie and save his or her life. But for the child, it's very difficult to tie with seatbelt. Needs additional restraints such as child car seats, and it's also very important to consider that we should not use child cars in the front seat, it's important to install child restraint car seats in the front back seats. It's safer. Also, we see that in many countries, in Australia, in Denmark, Japan, UK, after law adoption, using seatbelts, the number of using seatbelts was increased, and it worked also in Georgia. So first, what we should do is to change legislation, and in my country, in Georgia, also penalties and legislation worked. Before changing legislation, we should prepare our public and people for changing behavior. It's very difficult, especially in the traditional countries such as Georgia. It's very difficult to change people's mind and behavior just for 1 year. We worked with patrol police officers, with Ministry of Internal Affairs. We worked also with private sectors. We did a lot of educational trainings, visited schools. We distributed educational flyers to the children, and the children took all these materials to their parents. We met also their parents as the employees, and we visited also insurance companies, other very big private organizations. We tried to involve media and celebrities all this campaign. But first of all, our target audience was Parliament and members of Parliament. We did several working group discussions, and we invited speakers, and First Lady was was involved in our campaign for the seatbelt. She was supporter of our big campaign. So when we started our working, we did research about seatbelt usage, and as the slides shows, in Tbilisi, only 1% drivers use seatbelts. It's almost nothing, and on the highways it was 41% by drivers and 39% by front passengers. After this, we tried to reach the society. We worked in the partnerships, as I said, with government, with media, with private sector, and also with local NGOs. At this time, there was very little NGOs. Almost nobody was working on road safety, but other NGOs that could help us. Also, we took some promotional videos that was as social commercial videos. It was shown on national and regional TV channels, and it was free without any charge. We also posted our posters on buses in Tbilisi that moved on the central streets. We visited hospitals, distributed our also children restraints for newborn baby mothers, and we had also a door-to-door campaign and try to reach all the people. Now everybody knows that the big campaign was the road safety campaign worked, and nobody knows in the country about this campaign. It was very popular during that time. We also took some photos, and we had posters also. We asked writers, famous writers, celebrities to get involved. We had short poems about using seatbelts, and also we took photos when these celebrities, these journalists, politicians, First Lady was taken, and we had exhibition. Invited media and all these people involved in this project, and people, other people like public, ordinary people, citizens, saw how these celebrities, politicians, also First Lady, were wearing these seatbelts. First time we showed videos on TV. How damages after the crash, how not using seatbelt damages our life, and how it is bad for our health. But people had very bad reaction, and then we changed our manner and tried to change our campaign also, and we had the slogan, just buckle up for your love, and you see now the poster on the bus. This bus also says the same, buckle up for your love. After campaign, after 5 years campaign, seatbelt law was adopted before New Year in December. In 2010, our president opened his New Year talk for the citizens. And announced that now seatbelt law was adopted and we have to buckle up for our safe. And after law adoption, we have changed. We did research and we have changed the results. Now 95% drivers are using seatbelt in Tbilisi, and on highways it's 98%. Almost everyone, I think. Almost everyone are using seatbelts now, especially on highways. Also, we got changes in statistical data that is official and is provided by Ministry of Internal Affairs. When it was 867 people died in 2008, now we have 602 people. It's still very high if you compare Georgian population, but we have changes, and it's good that it's decreased. But we have a lot to work to change and to decrease again this number. I think that it's important to involve always private sector, government officials, decision makers. During now our main events, we try to have working group meeting. We hire also conference halls to organize conference meetings. We have conferences with media, and we have also discussion meeting with decision makers. Invite the main people who are responsible for also law adoption, or maybe traffic infrastructure in Tbilisi and in the regions. We also try to work with private sector, and also it's very important to work with hospitals and insurance companies. We try to work with coalition. As you see, there is very short number of our short list of our partners. We have now more partners because from project to project we try to involve more media and more people, more organizations. So not only local but from international level, and it's very short number that you see here. It's very increased now. So it's important to start with media, with business sector, ask them, as we did. We asked the big companies, banks and insurance companies and big other private companies to ask their employees to wear seat belts, and they did it. Their drivers, and not only drivers, but just also their employees. We use social media very actively as Facebook, Twitter. Also we have local video, www.video.g. Also YouTube, we put all our visits to media and programs, news programs, when news program always broadcast about our events, big events. All these videos, all the new information we put on YouTube and social media, and we try to be flexible to work with other NGOs. We always, our organization is always open for partnership. We try to find some champions who will be road safety champions in our country, and who will be the first who will wear seatbelts. And I think that's all. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you very much, Lika. This webinar is available online, and you can go back and listen to it as many times as you like. Should you wish to learn more, we have collected a number of resources which can be found on our website. You can also reach out to the Partnership Foundation for Road Safety and Lika directly. Overall, I encourage you to use the excellent expertise that you can find in our group and reach out to our members directly. I'm happy to help facilitating that. Thank you for listening and have a safe day.